the infidels and pagans of Mecca came to Muhammad Mustafa alayhi salatu wasalam, and they told that his message was very attractive, very fascinating, very attractive. But they had committed many murder, many adulteries, and they had spent their lives in the violation of the law. And they wanted to know any expiation. Do you know expiation?
No.
Expiation or atonement. Just to expiate for the sins they had committed already. In the answer, this verse was revealed. وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَدْعُونَ مَعَ اللَّهِ إِلَٰهًا آخَرَ وَلَا يَقْتُلُونَ النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ وَلَا يَزْنُونَ وَمَن يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ يَلْقَ أَثَامًا. Means
Which surah and ayah is that?
this one?
Yes.
I should check and tell you.
Yes, thank you.
It may be. It may be after Furqan.
After.
But I am not sure. I shall tell you. It was not mentioned, but I shall tell you. Most probably, according to his statement, he is a verse of Surah Furqan. But you must know that the expiation of their previous sin was told, was explained. And in the previous traditions of this very book was also expressing that Al-Islam yadimu ma kana qablahu. Embracement of Islam abolishes and vanishes and nullifies all of the sins before the embrace of Islam.
Alhamdulillah.
Whether there was human rights or the divine rights. Both
All kind.
Everything is leveled.
Subhanallah.
And then this was also mentioned, Ya ibadi alladhina asrafu ala anfusihim la taqnatu min rahmatillah. O my slaves who have exceeded the limits, violated the law, should not be disappointed, because the blessing of Allah is overwhelming over the wrath of Allah, over the anger of Allah. Sabaqat rahmati ala ghadabi. My blessing overtook my wrath and anger. So here, Imam Jafar Sadiq says, this verse was revealed in connection with the Ummah. And وَلَا سَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى was revealed in connection with Ali Bayt, with the family of the Holy Prophet. Means, وَلَا سَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. O my Holy Prophet, I shall give you as much as you would be pleased. You would be happy. This was revealed in connection with his family. Means, I shall please you in connection with your family. Every member of your family, you claim that he is yours, would be pardoned according to your intercession. Understand?
Fully understand.
And this verse was revealed about the followers and disciples and Ummah of Muhammad Mustafa. Means all of Ummah was advised not to be disappointed, because the blessing of Allah is overwhelming, overtaking all types of anger. Understand?
Yes.
Imam Jafar Sadiq says this was revealed in connection with the Ummah. But once a person put a question to Imam Jafar Sadiq that both of the verses were revealed in connection with the Ummah, because Ya ibadi alladhina asrafu ala anfusihim la taqnatu min rahmatillah. Here Quran said, O my slaves.
Yeah.
Here Imam Jafar Sadiq says, Kul is reporting verb and imperative tense. Second person singular number. Then the speech Ya ibadi starts as a speech of Muhammad Mustafa. Kul, you say. O my Holy Prophet, say, you. And what is the saying word? Ya ibadi. Here the first person singular number is Muhammad Mustafa. Ya ibadi.
Yeah, my slave.
Means
Yes, my slave.
my slaves, my slave. Because if it were otherwise, it would have been like this: La taqnatu min rahmati. La taqnatu min rahmati. If Allah had been the speaker of this Ya Ibadi,
Yes.
then it would be like that. Ya ibadi alladhina asrafu ala anfusihim la taqnatu min rahmati. O my slaves, don't be disappointed from my blessing. But here, Allah is third person singular number, which means that Ya ibadi, here the speaker, the first person singular number is Muhammad Mustafa. May grace and peace of Allah be upon him. Understand?
Full understanding.
And Imam Jafar Sadiq radiyallahu ta'ala anhu was claimed by saying that you are also slave of Muhammad Mustafa alayhi salam. Therefore you are also included. You have been included in this address. Imam Jafar Sadiq radiyallahu anhu says that we are not addressee in this verse because the slave was mentioned. And the offspring of a person cannot be slaves. They cannot be enslaved because they have dichotomy, mutually exclusion. They have got polarity with each other. They cannot be put together because when a person buys buys a slave, and all of a sudden he appears to be son of that person who is buyer, huh? Automatically he would be emancipated. He would be freed because the son and the slave are dichotomous to each other. They cannot be put together. Understand? Understand? And we are the offspring of the Holy Prophet. We cannot be enslaved. You are you are slaves of the Holy Prophet. Therefore you can be addressed by this verse. The argumentation of Imam Jafar Sadiq radiyallahu anhu is very attractive. Do you understand? Ya Allah. Then. Ibn Hazam was a companion of the Holy Prophet.
Who?
Hakim bin Hazam.
Hakim bin Hazam.
Hakim bin Hazam. He was a companion of the Holy Prophet. And he was a virtuous and good person in the period of ignorance, as well. He wanted to know whether the virtues and goodness and good practice attempted by him in the period of ignorance would exist, would he be rewarded for that one as well after Islam. Nabi Kareem alayhi salam said, you embraced Islam against your along with your total virtues you had attempted during the period of ignorance. Means you would be rewarded for the virtues, for the good practice you have attempted in the period of ignorance. But as far as the evils are concerned, according to admitted or majority of the Muslims' opinion, he would not be penalized for those evils or sins which he had committed during the period of ignorance.
What a big luck.
Hazrat Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, whether the murder is pardonable or not, if a person commits a murder and shows the penitence of his sin, to show the penitence of sin.
Is it before embracing Islam or after embracing Islam?
This is not discussion about before Islam. In Islam.
In Islam.
In Islam. So there are two opinions by Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala. One is pardonable, the other one is not pardonable. And what are the reasons for the pardoning? That once upon a time a person was reported by Muhammad Mustafa alayhi salam by himself, which was reported by Abu Sayyid Khudri radiyallahu ta'ala, and that tradition was mentioned in the last part of Muslim Sharif. This is the Muslim Sharif. That a person had committed the murder of 99 persons, and he went to a Maulana and asked the verdict whether it was pardonable or not. The Maulana answered that it was not pardonable because the murdering and killing of 99 persons was a highly culpable action. Therefore, he was not going to be pardoned by Allah Rabbul Izzat, and he would have to be penalized by Allah Rabbul Izzat. Then he thought that, the murderer thought that, if his crime is not pardonable, then that Maulana should also be slaughtered. He slaughtered him as well. So outwards, when
he was wrong. He was wrong. That Maulana was wrong. Because Allah is Almighty. He can forgive whomsoever He wants, whatsoever He wants.
So he went to another Maulana. He told him that there was a group of awliya Allah, Zakirin, remembering Allah Rabbul Izzat. The group of the party of pious people. They used to make zikrullah. They used to remember Allah Ta'ala there, and he advised him to go there and show the penitence of his sins and not to come back here. And during the journey he passed away. Two parties of angels came there, and there was a dispute among the angels whether he should be put in the hell or he should be put in the paradise. And Allah Rabbul Izzat sent a third angel as a third party, and it was a tribunal arbitration council. Arbitration council. Arbitration. This is a legal word. Arbitration council. Salsi council.
Arbitrator.
Arbitrator. As an arbitrator, he came there and he advised them both that the distance should be measured. If he was near to the place from he had started the journey, then he should be put in the hell, because he was very far away from the place of penitence, from the place of pious people. And if he were near to the destination, he should be pardoned and he should be put in the paradise. So when they tried to measure the distance, Allah Rabbul Izzat ordered the angels to stretch the ground from the side of the pious people, just to show him near to the place of destination. So when the distance was measured, he proved to be very near to the destination. He was pardoned. Here it was established that if the murder of 100 persons is pardonable, what is the reason before us not to believe that if a murder cannot be pardoned? Understand? If murder can be redeemed, can be pardoned. And the other way, when Usama radiallahu ta'ala, in the previous chapter, Usama bin Zayd radiallahu ta'ala killed a person saying La ilaha illallah, when it was disclosed to him that it was highly culpable action, he said, would that I would have born to die the day after the occurrence. It means that according to his ideology, the murder was pardonable. Means in case he would have embraced Islam after that day. It means that according to him, the sins before embracement of Islam are pardonable. And a large group of the companions was also present there. They agreed to it. Otherwise, they had raised the objection to his opinion. They would have questioned him. What was the benefit of embracement of Islam after that day? He just wanted to show that it was better on his part to embrace Islam after the commission of that crime, because with the embracement of Islam, all of the crimes committed before the embracement of Islam are pardonable. Understand? तुम्हें ये अंग्रेजी समझ आ रही है नहीं आ रही है? अच्छी तरह समझ आ रही है? Here, Hazrat Abdullah ibn Mas'ud was reported to have two different type of opinions. In the previous times, he used to give the verdict that the murder is pardonable, and afterwards he changed his opinion that murder is not pardonable. But here they say that it was just for threatening.
Useful?
Threatening.
Threatening.
just to terrify a person, just to terrify a person,
to not commit the crime.
not to commit it, not to commit the sin again. Otherwise, originally it was pardonable.
But in the Quran it is stated that he who kills the Muslims, he will be in hell forever.
Forever.
So how you
look. Here, there is a principle. Man qatala mu'minan muta'ammidan fajaza'uhu jahannam. Man qatala mu'minan. This is adjective. This is not person. There is a principle in the Islamic jurisprudence. In Islamic jurisprudence,
Yes.
do you know jurisprudence?
Yeah. Law.
No, not law.
No law.
That is a collection of principles which are utilized to check the legality of the law, to derive the law from the text of the Holy Quran.
Foundation of law.
The
Foundation of law. The rules of law.
look. Let me explain
Yes,
it.
thank you.
Means that is a code of or a collection of principles which are utilized on the derivation of the law. All the derivatives of law derived from the text of the Holy Quran and the prophetic traditions are checked by that very collection of law. Derivational principles. You can easily say derivational principles.
Yes.
When you want to make the law from the Holy Quran, those principles would be used.
Yes.
The collection of those principles is called jurisprudence. Juris means law.
Yes.
Prudence means understanding. Understanding of the law.
Yes.
This is a compound word.
Yes.
Jurisprudence.
Yes.
Juris means law. Prudence means understanding. Understanding of law means that is a collection of derivational principles of law. All of the sections which are believed to be sections of the law, they are derived in the light of those principles. Those principles are called jurisprudence. Now you understand. Huh? According to Islamic jurisprudence, man qatala mu'minan muta'ammidan. Here mu'minan was said.
Not Muslim, Mu'min.
No. Not Zaid, not Bakr. Mu'minan. This is adjective. When an order is imposed on adjective, then we shall check the root of, the radical of that adjective. And that root of adjective would be a reason for the application of the order. The root of mu'min is iman. When one kills a man because of his belief, because of his iman,
Okay.
why he is killing him? Because he embraced Islam. When the interior motive is Islam and Iman, he has got an enmity with Islam and Iman. On account of this very enmity, he kills him. So this is infidelity, not Islam. Man qatala mu'min. Understand?
I got it.
It means that if a person kills anybody because of Islam, why he has embraced Islam? Why has he accepted Islam? Why has he professed Islam? When the interior motive is embracement of Islam. If one kills on account of this very cause, then he would be believed to have apostatized. Understand? And the other one, the other interpretation, if he believes it to be lawful, if a person kills a believer and while killing he believes that it is lawful, permissible, it is not culpable action, means I am legally in the right to kill him. Since the killing of a believer is totally unlawful, if a person believes an unlawful to be lawful, this is also infidelity. He would remain in the hell forever on account of infidelity, not on account of murdering. Understand? Huh? And the third one, Khulud means a long time. Khalidan fiha. Khalidan means for a long time. It was established by many statements that khulud sometimes is used for the long time as well. Means he will remain in the hell for the long times. Now, first of all, if kills anybody on account of belief and Islam, so if he believes in Islam and Iman to be liable to be killed, this is infidelity. He will remain forever in the hell on account of infidelity, not on account of murder. Understand? And the second one, if he kills on the enmity of Islam, he will remain in the hell.
It's the same thing.
And if a person believes it to be lawful, that this killing is not culpable action, not invalid, not voidable, but this is lawful. So if any person believes any unlawful thing to be lawful thing, he would be believed to have apostatized, murtad. Because of this action, apostatization, he would remain in the hell. The fourth interpretation, khulud means for a long time. Understand?
Khulud means long time.
For a long
Not
time.
forever, long time.
If there is no any reason of this, one of these things, he would be resurrected on the judgment day. If it doesn't show any penitence of his sin, and that sin is found in his personal sheet, first of all, Allah has got a better right to pardon him on account of his benevolence, his generosity. And the second one, he may be interceded for with Allah Rabbul Izzat, and he can be pardoned on account of the intercession of the Holy Prophet. Understand?
Second sentence.
And if Allah does not pardon him on account of his benevolence, and Nabi Karim does not intercede for him with Allah Rabbul Izzat, then he can be put for a long time in the hell. Understand?
If a kafir kills a Muslim and then he becomes Muslim himself, and then he changes his mind and becomes Muslim.
Whoever, wherever embraces Islam, whatever he has done in the previous life would be abolished.
Yes, and then they be friend in paradise.
Okay. चलो जी.
قال حدثنا حسن وقال حدثنا إسحاق بن إبراهيم وعبد بن حميد قال أخبرنا عبد الرزاق قال أخبرنا معمر عن الزهري بهذا الإسناد الحديث وحدثنا إسحاق بن إبراهيم قال أخبرنا أبو معاوية قال حدثنا هشام بن عروة عن أبيه عن حكيم بن حزام قال قلت يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أشياء كنت أفعلها في الجاهلية قال هشام يعني أتبرر بها فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أسلمت على ما أسلفت لك من الخير قلت فوالله لا أدع شيئا صنعته في الجاهلية إلا فعلت في الإسلام مثله.
अच्छा ये जो to have asked Muhammad Mustafa alayhi salam whether the previous virtues attempted by him would be rewardable for him during Islam, Nabi Karim alayhi salam answered yes, and then he attempted an oath that he would do the same things for many times which he had been attempting during the period of ignorance, because those were virtues. Virtues should be revised, should be repeated. He had emancipated 100 slaves. During the period of ignorance, he repeated the same in the period of Islam. And he had devoted and sacrificed 100 camels to the poor people, and he repeated the same in the period of Islam, just to show that he had full interest in Islam and Islamic activities. Challenge. There was a verse revealed in the Holy Quran in Surah An'am. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَلَمْ يَلْبِسُوا إِيمَانَهُمْ بِظُلْمٍ أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمُ الْأَمْنُ وَهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ. those people who embraced Islam, who believed in Islamic contents, and they did not mix their belief with the cruelty, with the injustice. Only those people are in peace, and those very people are with the proper guidance. Here, the companions of the Holy Prophet was not happy with this statement, because they thought that avoiding the cruelty, avoiding the committing of cruelty was not possible for anyone in the world except the Holy Prophet. Therefore, the peace of mind and the providence of the guidance would not be possible for anyone in the world except the Holy Prophet. So they were very grieved. They were very, very sorrowful, Papa, on the revelation of this verse. Then Nabi Karim ﷺ rationalized the statement that this zulm does not mean any injustice or any cruelty, but only the paganism was referred to in this verse. Inna shirka la zulmun azim. Mean Quran says, Alladhina amanu wa lam yalbisu imanum bi zulmin. Those people who believed in Islamic contents and they did not mix their belief with the injustice or with cruelty, only those people are in peace of Allah, means they would be put in the paradise, and those very people are with the proper guidance. They are properly guided. If the guidance or peace is enclosed, is limited only to those persons who are with this quality, that their belief is not mixed with any injustice, and any action or omission which is against the Islamic law according to the Quranic statement, that is injustice. مَن يَتَعَدَّ حُدُودَ اللَّهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. And to place anything not on the proper place is also injustice. For instance, this book should be put here, I put it here, this is also injustice according to the Islamic definition.
Very difficult.
Then, so this was very tightening the Muslims, and they were not happy with their own situation. Then it was rationalized, it was explained by the Holy Prophet. He gave them an explanatory note that it was not commonized, it was not generalized, but it was specified. The order is general and the meaning is specific. What is that? Inna shirka la zulmun azim. As Sulaiman, as Luqman was reported to have said to his son, Inna shirka la zulmun azim. Oh my darling, you must know, you should bear in mind that the paganism is the highest cruelty. Though the statement is general one, but the meaning are specified one. Understand?
Shirk Kabir. Shirk Kabir.
Shirk is the biggest cruelty. Shirk is the biggest, the highest injustice. Understand? Here the specification by the Holy Prophet was accepted by all of the companions of the Holy Prophet. Though the order was general, that every type of injustice was included in this meaning. But when it was specified by the Holy Prophet, specification by the Holy Prophet was accepted by all of the companions.
Ideology.
In ideology. In ideology. But when there was an order, Innama yuridullah liyuzba ankum risa al-bayta yataramu tathira. O the family of the Prophet, Allah likes to purify you and sanctify you, and He likes to purify you completely purifying. So this family was harmonized, generalized.
Family of Rasulullah.
But Nabi Karim ﷺ spread his sheet on the head of 4 persons, Hassan, Hussein and Ali. When the common meaning was specified by the Holy Prophet in this verse, in the same way, the meaning of tathir, the meaning of sanctification,
Yes.
purification was also specified by the Holy Prophet. There's only these 4 persons are denoted by the Holy Quran. Therefore, implication of tathir should not be spread anywhere else. It should be limited to these persons because of specification of the Holy Prophet. Understand?
Good understand.
As this specification was accepted, that specification should also have been accepted. Understand? Okay.
قال حدثنا إسحاق بن إبراهيم وعلي
Nazil ki gayi. From the last part of Surah Baqarah was mentioned here that Quran says, Lillahi ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. Whatever is existing in the space or in the heavens or in the earth is property of Allah, belongs to Allah. Allah exclusively proprietor of everything existing in the universe. And whatever you think in your heart, whether you close it or to disclose it, whether you express yourself or not express yourself, Allah will take you to account about that one. You will be taken to task, and the scrutinization would be held in the court of Allah about this practice. Means whatever you think, that will be counted. When this type of things were mentioned by the Holy Quran, the companions present there were very disturbed, very upset. They said that it was not affordable for them to comply with such conditions, because there are so many thoughts coming in the heart without the option of the human being. Many bad things, many evil thoughts come to the mind of a human being, and they go in the heart. If a person is questionable about these very thoughts as well, then he cannot be emancipated, he cannot be relieved, he cannot be delivered on the judgment day. Understand?
Senseless.
Nabi Karim Sallallahu said to them, are you going to do the same thing which was attempted or done by the people of two books, means the Jews and Christians? So it is not suitable on your part, because it is not advisable for you. And then Nabi Karim Sallallahu taught them to say, O Allah, Samina wa ata'na, we listened to your order and we obeyed the order, and we shall ask your favor, and we cannot do anything except your obedience. But they were very grieved, and just after that this verse was revealed, La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha, means no duty would be imposed to a person who is not capable to do it. Without capacity, no duty would be imposed to a person to execute.
This is a very lovely verse.
Huh?
Very lovely, yeah.
And there are many other traditions which says that any person thinks any bad thing in his heart would not be questioned. In the coming tradition I shall discuss it. Chalo.
قال حدثنا أبو
With the other words, with the other reporters, the channel of authority is different from that of the previous one. Otherwise, the contents of the tradition are the same. Chalo.
Who is the reporter?
Abdullah ibn Abbas. Abdullah ibn Abbas.
And who was the former?
Huh?
And who was the former? The former reporter, who was that?
Former report is also Abdullah ibn Abbas.
So it's two reports.
With a different person approached Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala. But in the previous one was Abu Huraira. Abu Huraira. These are two reporters. Chalo jagah.
قال حدثنا سعيد
Yuhasbil was reported by one of the companions to have said that the thoughts, the visualization, just the thinking is not culpable action, but thinking has got 5 degrees. First one is called hajis, when one hits upon an evil thought, but it does not determine. that type of thought is called hajis. When a bad and evil thought is repeated by him, that repetitive evil thought is called khatir. When a person begins to devise the devices to attempt or to commit the evil, that type of thought is called khatir. The fourth one is this one is hadith nafs. This third one is hadith nafs. The fourth one is hum. Hum means when a person determines to do an evil thing, he is confirmed no to attempt the bad thing, but there is certain a preventive thought. He prevents him. He does not, that type of thought does not allow him to commit an evil. When that opposition and prevention intervenes repeatedly, so that type of bad thinking is called hum. These four are pardonable. But when a person thinks it an evil thought, and he decides to commit the evil, and he does not bother for any opposition, in spite of all bad consequences which are going to be suffered from, he is ready to commit. So that type of intention, that should be called determination. When he determines, so this type of thought is highly calculation. It would be accounted, and one would take it to task for that one. If he thinks that I will do, for instance, he goes for the murder, but he cannot do it. He would have to be penalized for the commission of murder, because he properly intended and determined to commit the murder.
मतलब वो कोई अज़म करे कि वो इसको कत्ल करे, वो रास्ते में ट्रेन क्रैश में मर जाए,
तो ये अज़म तो उसके अज़म के तौर पर तो हिसाब होगा, अगरचे कत्ल के तौर पर इसका हिसाब नहीं होगा. So by Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam have said, if my slave, if my servant, means any person, intends for any virtue, before the attempting, before the practice, that virtue should be inserted is in personal sheet. But if he intends for any evil thing, mere attention is not a commission. It should not be mentioned in his personal sheet. But when he commits an evil, only one evil should be inserted in his personal sheet. But if he attempts a virtue, before attempting, only intention of virtue is also virtue. Only one virtue would be mentioned and inserted in his personal sheet. But if he attempts the virtue, 10 virtues will be inserted in his personal sheet. Man jaa bil hasanati falahu ashru amsalha.
If you do it.
If he does it.
Yeah, if he does.
Oh.
This is very well known and very beautiful one.
Very beautiful. Same tradition. Allah Rabbul Izzat was reported by Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to have said that if a person intends for any virtue, before the attempting of that virtue, before the practice of that virtue, I insert one virtue in his personal sheet. But when he practices the virtue, I add 10 virtues in his personal sheet for one virtue. For attempting the one virtue, I insert 10 virtues in his personal sheet. But if he intends for any evil, I don't write.
I don't let him write.
I don't write any intention, because intention cannot be recorded by the angels. Intention cannot be. Qasim Allah rahmatullah says, the zikr kalbi, the zikr attempted by heart would not be recorded by the angels. There is a communication between lover and beloved.
That is about zikr.
Yeah.
But not. But that one he knows intention.
No.
But he have no right. He have not right to write them.
No. Intention is not known by the angels.
Even not the intention.
No.
So,
Intention can be known by Allah and His apostle.
therefore he cannot write anything.
Yeah.
Only action he can write. Okay.
जनाब अगर वो उसको इंटेंशन का पता नहीं
It is the same.
Yeah, I noticed that.
जी, चलें.
From the
قال
organ.
حدثنا أبو كريب
Most probably, Allah will pardon the evil which was attempted by a person. When he intends for an evil, it would not be written in his personal sheet. But when he attempts, the evil would be inserted in his personal sheet. But most probably, Allah will pardon him as well. And no one would be penalized in the court of Allah without a rebel. Do you know rebel? Mutineer. Rebellionist.
One who is against.
Means who are very proud against the order of Allah. He does not care.
Haughty one. Haughty one.
arrogant
Defy the orders.
Yeah.
arrogant
One who put his mouth
एरोगेंट
high.
मुतकब्बिर के लिए सिर्फ इस्तेमाल होता है. इसका बागियाना रवैया जो है रेबल, इसके दो तलफ़ुज़ हैं. रेबल करें तो बागी, रिबेल करें तो बगावत. म्यूटिनी बगावत, म्यूटिनियर बागी.
Mutineer means rebellious. Is that similar?
Rebel means also the person who takes the arms against the government. Rebel. Rebel means to take the arm against the government.
The government of Allah.
Against Allah. That is called rebellion. And rebel is a verb, but rebel is adjective.
I understand.
ਨਾ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹਜ਼ਰਤ ਯੂਸੁਫ ਅਲੈਹਿਸਲਾਮ ਦੇ ਰਾਜਦਾਨ ਨੇ